Hello to my wonderful art students. I am so happy to have you back in my art studio with me again this month. This is going to be our last session before we have summer break, and I just cannot believe I haven't seen your faces for over 2 months. I can't wait to be in our art class in the fall. I sure am missing having you in the art room. I'm very thankful that we can make art together online in my studio. So before we begin, I just want to remind you that you are here to express yourself. This is your art, it's your creativity. Making art is finding your own creative voice. No matter what, your art is always amazing, and I give you an A+ for sure. So if you don't have the supplies I have, please don't stress about it. Just use what you do have and use your imagination and get really creative. You can use crayons or markers, colored pencils or paints, chalk or oil pastels, whatever you have on hand, that's what you should use just to make art. I am going to use construction paper and markers for this lesson. So if you have that, get it together. So this month we are specifically going to focus on child prodigy artists. Do you know what that even means? A child prodigy artist is a person under the age of 10, so that falls in your age group, who produces meaningful art at the level of an adult expert. They have mastered highly complex techniques at a very early age. And they've also been recognized as achieving success and acclaim very early in their art career. So this lesson is written for 2nd grade, but it can be done by any grade, it's fine. And you are able to go do any of the other lessons that I've posted during this distance learning period from March, April, and May. So as we move into our learning portion of our lesson today, I want to introduce you to a young man by the name of Hamza Marbella. He is 8 years old, and he became the youngest member of the Artists Association of the Philippines. So that's where he lives, in the Philippines. He paints acrylic on canvas, and he began painting at 2. He would stand in his crib and watch his father painting. As he grew, he would look for stones or bottle caps, clothespins, or other things and transform them into art pieces like butterflies and flowers. Hamza uses bold, thick brushstrokes and bright palettes that reflect a very cheerful and hopeful demeanor. His art tells a story of childhood preoccupation with vivid imagination. His mom has made sure that he has lots of books around as sources of inspiration for him. She bought him crayons and sketch pads, which also became his toys. Making art is a great way for us to express our emotions or our feelings without words. We can use different colors that match how we are feeling. So what emotions do you notice, or what feelings do you notice in his art matching up with the colors? Like yellow could express warmth, or you could have orange be enthusiasm, or red, you could have that be fun and excitement, or be angry. So look at the colors and then think about, when we get to your art, what colors you would like to use to express your emotions during this time right now. His art is mostly smiling women, cats, and fish in rural settings that tell us the story of his upbringing in the Philippines, where he observes a lot of fish being sold on the streets and some in crates. He has a signature image of the sun and a wonderful visualization of the world. He began competing at 4 and won more than 50 art awards by 8 that acknowledge his impressive technique and unique vision. He has produced about 300 pieces of art. Some of his work is even housed inside of the United Nations headquarters in New York City. Here is some more art by Hamza Marbella. It is a little known fact that Hamza actually has a photographic memory, and he translates the everyday things he encounters into striking works of art. He says, with paintings, my hands are able to say the things that my mouth can't. So this is going to be our inspiration piece for our art project today. If you would like to look at other art by Hamza Marbella and continue making more art after our lesson, search for him on Instagram or on Facebook. This fish is going to be what we are going to do. So think about what supplies that you might have by looking at it. If you have paint or markers or crayons, I'm going to use construction paper and scissors, markers and glue, as well as some liquid paper in case I can't find any white paint. Just use what you have, right? You could use nail polish. It'd be so much fun to use nail polish to paint a lot of their stripes and things. So remember, the cool part about having class this way is that you can pause the video anytime you need to and go back to catch up or get the hang of what we're doing. There is no rush. Take as long as you need to feel really good about what you are painting. Once you have completed your beautiful masterpiece, please sign it in the bottom right or left corner and use as much flourish as you can. You've worked really hard, and that shows that you've finished your art project and that you're very proud of your work. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that we can stay connected and continue to do art lessons together. If I post anything over the summer, that's how you would get notification that I've loaded something up new. When you post after you're finished with your art, post it on Instagram or Facebook with the hashtags SaddleUpMavs or Rooted Oak Meadow so that we all see it. And even though we can't be in the classroom together right now, we can continue to have fun together by sharing our art, encouraging our friends and ourselves, just like we do when we're in the art room at Oak Meadow Elementary. So give your friends a thumbs up and a positive comment, and let's keep our community strong while we share our art. As we begin with our Hamza Marbella piece, I want for you to go ahead and pull all your supplies together, and I'm going to explain to you how I am going to put it together with construction paper and markers, scissors, glue, and I also have one item that I grabbed at the grocery store. So in case you don't have white paint, you can get some things at the grocery store like markers and construction paper, scissors, a glue stick, and this whiteout pen in case you don't have white paint. This was a great tool for me to use for this, but if you have white paint, that works fine too. Just use a very fine paintbrush to do the detail work. If you have paint to paint on the fish too, that would be fantastic. So here we go. I'm going to use a marker to sketch fish, but I do not want you to use a marker. I want you to use a pencil. I'm only doing this so you can see what I'm doing. So I have primary colors here, secondary colors, and my paper that I will be gluing everything onto. So the first thing I'm going to do is work on my fish face. I'm going to use part of this for the face and part of it for the tail. So half of it, I'm going to start my face over here and make sure I have it in proportion. I want you to do a letter V like this for the mouth opening, and then just arch the head up to the edge of the paper and then arch the head coming down to the bottom. That will be our fish head on our paper. And then I'll bring it to the other end of the paper just for my visual to do the tail. So I will come from here out, from here out, and then the center we want to make a V, but I like the way it's curved a little bit. So if you make some arches in first and then bring your V to join it together. We're going to make lots of pieces that we will cut out later. So set that aside. And I don't want to mess up my paper that I'm going to glue on, so I'm going to put that aside. Now, I want to work in this area. I love how he has a lot of cool colors surrounding the outside and then little pops of warm colors coming in. So I'm going to take my cool colors and work with those first. With cool colors, I'm going to design 3 fish. I will have 2 larger and 1 smaller coming down each of these pieces of paper. So just stay with me and we will draw our fish. Start with a V and come around and do another V and come back in, and then we'll make our tail. So if you do a V and then a forward S, a backward S, and another V. So we're going to make 3 of those, 2 large and 1 small. So I'll make another V, come around, and they don't have to be exactly the same. and then make a V, and then one that's a little bit smaller. We'll do him a little smaller like this, and make his tail. Then I'm going to do the same thing on my blue. 2 large, 1 small. So letter V, I don't know if you can see it on this blue paper, so just imagine I'm doing an S, then a backwards S, and then join with a V. A letter V, a big S, a backwards S, and join it together with a V. And then 1 small one. So I'll put that one aside. 1 more of the large. Cool colors. So letter V, bigger S, then we'll do a little S, V, bigger S, backwards S, and then join them together, and then we will do 1 smaller fish with an S, backwards S, and join them with a V. Then we're going to take our warm colors and we're going to do 1 large and 1 small. So I'll start with yellow. I'll do 1 large V with the big S going forwards and a backward S, and then make my V and 1 that's smaller. So we can even do his mouth a little different. They don't have to be the same. We just want 1 large and 1 small on the warm colors. Here's another one. Oh, I didn't do my V. And then another backwards S, and then join the tail with a V. And a smaller one. There we go. And then we want 1 more. Do a V and a same thing we've been doing, and 1 that's a little smaller. Okay, now on some of these fish, just so that we have them, you can see that they have these sails on the top of them. So I have a cool one and a warm one up here that I want to make sure I have a sail on. So I'm going to take my blue. I seem to have 2 pieces of paper there. And I'm going to add a sail on the top of it. I'm going to do the same thing with this orange one. Add a little sail to this one. And then on a red guy down here, probably both of these red guys, I need to add some fins coming down and some over the top, just so that we have some of these fun. So remember, you can pause anytime to catch up with me. I just need to keep going so this video length is not excruciatingly long. Then the last thing I want to do is to make sure and draw myself a circle so that I will have that for the sun. And then later on, I'll show you how to cut out triangles. I'm just going to use something round and go inside of it like a roll of tape to make me a circle. So we're going to decorate these before we cut them out. So take out your white paint and have your markers ready. And we want to start coloring all of our fish and decorating them. So I'm going to start with my warm fish. I think I might cut off some of this excess paper just so I have more room on my table. and I'm going to have all of my fish pieces ready to paint and decorate. So they're all facing to the left, just like they are in the picture. You can set your sun aside. So I want to start decorating my fish with lots of fun patterns. I'm going to start with the front of his face, and I'm going to start with each of their eyes. So with this or with paint, just come through and make a round eye and leave the center of it empty so we can fill it in with marker color later. You can also put some of these fun squiggly lines in on his face. So I'm going to go through and do all of the white parts. So all the white eyeballs I'm going to put in, and all of our fish will be different. So for my green guys, I'm going to look at each of the greens here and see where they might have some different patterns on them and make. So this one has some fun little dots coming down and then some dots in a zigzag. So I can put those in, and then later on I'll be able to come with markers. This has kind of a curly Q area, and this other green guy really doesn't have any white in it. So then purple guys. Let's look at the purple guys. We've got no white really on there. This one I might be able to do some fun striping with curves like this. So just get creative with your patterns and have fun with your fish. Then orange, I have some fun patterns with orange, so I'll do some dots up here. We have some guy who's kind of red, orangey, yellow over here. So I'm going to do his face like this. Maybe give him, some of them I should probably go back in and do lips on them, but I want you just to use your imagination decorating different patterns on each of your fish. Let's get some fun designs on them. And then red. We have one guy, this guy down here. I think I'll put him, these are these two guys. So I will put, he has this fun wispy fin right here. And what's great with this whiteout, as opposed to probably paint, is I can do some fun things with it, markers. And then blue. So I have some with a fun face design here that I can come and put blue marker over later. We have 3 fish. So just use this white for some fun designs. And some of them we won't really have any white on, and that's okay. This is this guy up here, I think, so I should definitely have more pattern on him. Okay, so let me see if there's anywhere else that I want to have any kind of white. Not right now, maybe something else will come up. So I will move into designing with my markers now. So we want to make sure that we have lips. I'm just going to get out most of my markers and have them going without their lids on. I just put the cap back close to it, but not all the way back on. So I'll do these lips here. All of our fish should have some really great lips. And then some squiggles in here in between the white. And another great thing is to use this, now that this is dry in here, we can go a little over the white and color in the center of the eye. Get some yellow in there, and then maybe a little tiny bit of black with the yellow around it. So move from fish part to fish part. Here, I may need to do some of that white and then put some blue on top of it. So I'll go ahead and squeeze this out. So remember, pause as you need to so that you can get all the designs in here that you would like to have. It's okay to pause it and rewind it if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to move to green designs. This green guy right here has some red outlining his eye. He has blue inside of his eye. He has this line here. He has red lips. So make his lips come a little off the edge so they look like big fatty lips. Super funny. It's got a little orange design up here, and I'm too close to the edge, so I'll put it down there. So here we can have a big wave coming through. There's a thick line. Have a yellow, I don't know if this will show up on here very well, but a yellow zigzag. Then have some green around it. And do some little designs in here. So just make your fish lots of fun with all different designs on each part of your fish. Okay, once you have finished with your fish, then you want to take your scissors and cut around each of your fish, the head and the tail, and very carefully cut around them until you have all of them cut out. And one last thing, once you have all of your fish cut out, then just come along the edge of each one of your colors and cut out a few triangles. Just snip, snip, Now we want to have our circle, our triangles, and all of our fish. And that's it. Everything else can be pushed out of the way, and grab your glue. I like to use a scrap piece of paper to glue on, just so that I don't get it on my actual piece of matting for my art. So we are going to start with gluing our fish head. So grab your fish head out of your pile of fish. And get glue all over him, but you don't want to get it on your matting. And place him at the left side in the center of your paper. And press down really well. And then we want to add our tail. Put our glue on all the way up to the edges so that it will stick really well. Put him at about center on the other side of your paper. I really love that look where the liquid paper and then I colored over it. I like the way those colors look. And then you're going to start taking your fish and go with the colors that we have here. Let me divide them out again. So 2 warm, red, orange, red. You can actually start to just place them where you think you're going to want them to be. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I want to have this red fish. That one I think goes up. No, this one's going to go up here. Start to just place them where I think I want them to be. This guy is going to go up here. So get an idea of where you want them to be before you get started. He has a lot of cool colors around the outsides with little pops of reds and greens on the inside. So decide where you want to place all of your fish. And we'll keep them in that order. So I'm going to push these over and start gluing them down. So first I'm going to put him So as I glue everything, start gluing yours down. Make sure to get all the way up to the edges on your paper. And when you place them right up against the sculpting of the fish's head and then keep going around. And then you want to take your sun and glue in the middle so you'll be able to stick the triangle edges underneath it. So start that there. And then I just make a little bit of a edge and start placing my triangle pieces in there under the edge. And add a little bit more glue right around there so you can turn your page. Stick another triangle piece up under the edge. So go all the way around, gluing in your triangles. Then I'm going to take my whiteout pen that I have, or you can use white paint, and half off this sun. This is his signature move in his art, as he loves to have this moon and sun half eclipse on his art. So we will have ours have that as well. So fill it in really good. And there we go. So what's the very last step that we'll do? We need to sign our name with a lot of flourish, which means a lot of beautiful curves and curl in our name. So come down into the corner and sign your name. I will do mine nice and big and pretty. You have worked hard, and your art should have a nice signature on it. So now that you have finished your beautiful art, we need for you to take a picture of it and post it on Instagram or Facebook with the hashtag Saddle Up Mavs or hashtag Rooted Oak Meadow, and we can all come together and like one another's work and give compliments and stay close to each other in our community. And if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel, then if I post anything this summer, we will go ahead and get that notification out to you. So thank you, and I can't wait to see you in the fall. I miss your faces, and I can't wait to do art again. Have a great summer. Bye-bye.